Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwander and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today we have the pleasure of meeting with Donald Daly. He's the founder and CEO of the Task Group. Welcome, Donald.
Hey Gerhard, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about sales effectiveness. Donald, how do you define sales effectiveness?
Well, sales effectiveness is how the salesperson makes progress on a daily basis. So they're not going to win deals every day, but they're going to make progress. And we define sales effectiveness as the measurement of what they're doing against some kind of key metrics. So what are they doing in the number of deals they're working on, the win rate they get, the sales cycle they manage. So sales effectiveness for me is really about trying to provide people with the right kind of deep methodologies, supporting tools and practices so that they can maximize their sales velocity.
How do you go about defining what to measure and how to measure?
Well, you know, when we speak to folks in who are interested in a sales effectiveness initiative, everybody will say, well, I want to increase revenue, but nobody can increase revenue for that company in their first 30 days. So we look at, so if you're going to increase revenue, what's the leading behavior that you have to go and work with and understand and measure? So it might be, are they qualifying correctly? Are they developing good opportunity plans? Is there coaching happening between the salesperson and the sales manager? So we need to look at the leading behaviors that you can track and measure, and if you do that, then that can predict for you what the sales effectiveness is going to be. And that's different than looking at kind of what's happened in the past and see the lagging indicators, because it's too late then to change.
So when you get the data back, what do you do with the results?
Well, the first thing is it's rarely activity that makes a change, right? So I think that if you look at the four factors that I spoke about, so revenue in terms of average deal value, the number of deals, the win rate, and the sales cycle. If I increase each one of those by 10%, and of course reduce the sales cycle by 10%, my sales velocity goes up by 48%. Right, so they're small things. So that won't happen always, but we've seen folks where that's happened with a sales velocity increase of 400%. So we look to measure those items, and what are the key things, for example, that drive win rate? And you look behind those key things and you say, for win rate, that'll typically happen if I'm speaking to the right people. I've developed a good competitive strategy. I've developed any competitive strategy. I understand the decision criteria. So we get down into those kind of sub-metrics and say when people do those things correctly and you measure them, then the macro factor, if you like, evolves and the win rate goes up. So you got to get down to the little measurable things that people can understand and make progress in every day.
So what if you don't make progress? How do you diagnose the problem? Is it faulty process, faulty technology, or not the right behavior?
Well, I think you got to look across the team, right? So if I've got 100 salespeople, and often happens, I've got 100 salespeople, and the company is making its quota, but I look underneath, and 20 of those salespeople are making 80% of the revenue. Then you know that it's you got to look at your process, right? Because if you have 20 people who are making 80% of the revenue, then that means that it's possible. So you need to look at the value proposition that they're delivering, you need to look at how they're targeting their customers, and then you need to get that common practice and best practice through the organization. And you can only do that at the speed that's needed in the market today if you can support that. Some of those kind of rational processes, support that with technology.
Thank you, Donald. That gives us a great insight into how to look at sales effectiveness. We're going to continue our conversation with Donald Daly tomorrow, where we talk about the impact of analytics on the sales process.